Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio on a Monday morning. Crazy how things went down as soon as you left on Friday. I'm getting notifications saying, Scotty Scheffler's involved in an altercation. We all know the story by now, hopefully. But what a crazy PGA game or tournament this weekend.
So we will not go into that incident that happened on Friday morning, other than the fact that I will say that Scotty Scheffler did rally. Now, his down moment, and you knew something, that he had to have a down round in this tournament. You don't go through an emotional circumstance like this. Some of it may have been his fault. Now, he said it was a misunderstanding, but we're not getting into that. Anyway, he shot 13 under par for the tournament. That's pretty good. Valhalla, the course that they played in Louisville, really took a beating. The winner of the PGA tournament, Xander Schauffele. And this is interesting because he's not a kid on the tour. He's been around, hanging around the lead in all these majors for a long time and never gotten one until yesterday. And to win it, he had to finish 21 under par. And that is the lowest ever for a four-round major event. 21 under par. That's phenomenal. Bryson DeChambeau was second, and Scotty Scheffler, as I mentioned, 13 under par. He's way back, but he's better than this. And you watch out when they play the U.S. Open at Pinehurst in North Carolina in June. He'll be right there. But the winner, Xander Schauffele, he's the PGA national champion.
Rumor going around that officer may have had some money on Xander winning the whole thing this weekend. I kid. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't send me your hate mail. Send it to Ned. Those weren't small missiles going on at Indy. Those are race cars. What about that qualifying this weekend?
I'll tell you, this is
flying.
They are. They might as well be flying. On the pole, Scott McLaughlin, and his qualifying time, it's 234 miles an hour. Now there are planes that fly slower than that. 234 miles an hour to get on the pole. Will Power and Joseph Newgarden, who are veterans on the Indy Racing Tour, they are on the front row. But watch out, on the second row is a guy named Kyle Larson from NASCAR. He's decided he's going to try both races. Going to run at Indy very early in the morning, actually midday on Memorial Day Sunday, and then fly out of there and get to Charlotte for the 600, the Coke 600 that NASCAR runs. So that is pretty doggone good. He is in the middle of the second pack. So this guy's he's a veteran driver, and he can handle the NASCAR vehicles as well as, I beg your pardon, the Indy vehicles as well as he can the NASCAR. This will be very interesting. But on the pole is Scott McLaughlin. Now, they did have a NASCAR race yesterday, but it was a non-points race. It was a NASCAR All-Star race, and that was at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and Joey Logano won that one. It's only a 20-car field. It's an All-Star event. So, and there was also a fight in the garage after.
Crazy. I mean, these guys need to leave each other alone. I mean, it didn't even really mean anything, but those guys, they got real thin skin, hurt feelings all the time, just start swinging. Crazy to me.
Yeah, that is part of it. They're volatile guys.
Thin skin. Get thick, guys. All right, we know the MSG Bears are...
The Bears did qualify. They qualified last weekend, not this. They had a chance to improve their seeding by winning Saturday's game, which they did not do. Southern Illinois beat them 18-11. That's a typical Bears game this year. There's no pitching. Anyway, they do qualify in 8th place, and there are only 8 teams in the Valley Tournament. 2 of them don't make it. And the Bears will play tomorrow afternoon in a first-round game against Illinois-Chicago. Illinois-Chicago has 30 wins this year, actually 33, I think, to be specific. And it'll be a nice little challenge for Missouri State if... And this is, you're wiping the records clean, folks. They're erased. You start nothing and nothing. The Bears have a lot of power. They have hit 110 home runs this year. Now, you think about that. 56 games, 110 home runs. These guys can hit, and they can hit very well. Hit for the long ball. Can they pitch? Can they play defense? There is the key. It's possible they could emerge and get everything together and send Keith Gutton onto the regionals and the super regionals and maybe the College World Series in his final year as the coach of the team. But, hey, he at least has 2 more games to go.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can get some dubs when he does it, Ned. So what happened with the Cardinals yesterday?
Well, they were going for a sweep at the Boston Red Sox, and they did not get it. Matt Liberatore on the hill for the Cardinals yesterday afternoon it was, and the Red Sox tore into him. Rafael Devers hit home run number 5. in consecutive games. This is 5 straight games in which he's had a home run. Red Sox win 11-3, and the Cardinals now get set to play tonight. They will take on the Baltimore Orioles up at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Orioles pretty good, folks. This is a power-packed team, and the Cardinals, who are now 6 games under 500 at 20-26, have a chance to maybe upset the Orioles' nest just a little bit and see what happens. But anyway, it was an 11-3 win for the Boston Red Sox yesterday at Busch Stadium, I should say. And that is a 1 win in 3 games for the Red Sox.
Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Cardinals fans, you having fun watching your team? I know that I'm having fun watching the Royals. I mean, it's not saying much. They did sweep the A's, though.
They did indeed. Beat the A's yesterday 8-4, and there were four Royals players with 2 hits apiece. That's some really serious hitting. These guys are 15 hits in all for Kansas City, and they're playing well, folks. They continue to play well. Again, I'm going to stand by my prediction. I don't think they can be in the championship hunt. It's a long, long way to go this season, but it's a team that's much better as opposed to what everybody thought they would be, and they're going to give the contenders a whole lot of trouble. Tonight, they host the Detroit Tigers up at Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City. Hey, watch out. These Royals are playing well.
And a lot of fun to watch, and that's what it's all about. What about the Springbirds?
Springbirds, we had their game on television yesterday, and the Springfield Cardinals took a 5-0 lead, lost that to the Midland Rockhounds, who eventually ran away with the lead 6-5, and then Springfield came back to win it 12-6. It was a game, Mike, and you hear this all the time, and I tell you it's true. You see something different at every single baseball game that you go to. Always something unusual. There's been a great increase in catcher's interference, which was never called. Maybe 5 years ago, you never heard of a catcher's interference. That's when the bat hits the glove or whatever. Well, the Cardinals are testimony to this. They lost their starting catcher, Wilson Contreras, with a broken arm because he got hit on a swing. And now these catcher's interference calls have really increased to the point where yesterday there were 2 of them called in the Springfield Cardinals games. 2 catcher's interference, both with the same batter. Chandler Redmond had it early in the game and later in the game. And what happens is these catchers are trying to get calls from the umpire on low breaking pitches, so they've been told to get up in the catcher's box. Well, hell, you're going to put yourself right in the they got to do something about this.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous.
We're going to have another serious accident unless this happens, or unless they get it corrected.
Absolutely. It's crazy. Ned, what happened in hockey? Where were we at with the Stanley Cup playoffs?
There were no hockey matches yesterday. There is one tonight, Vancouver and Edmonton, and then you get into the quarterfinals and semifinals of the Stanley Cup. But there was plenty of basketball, and how about this? In the 2 games yesterday, which were both 7 games, 7th and final game, on a home court, obviously, the New York Knicks lose to the Indiana Pacers 130-109. Indiana advances. New York knocked out of it at Madison Square Garden. Tyrese Halliburton, 26, and the Indiana defense very good. Biggest surprise of all in Denver, where the Minnesota Timberwolves trailed by 20 points. 20 points at halftime. Erased that, held Denver to 37 points, I think it was, in the second half, and win 98-90. The NBA champions are out of it. Denver Nuggets eliminated in 7 games. Boy, I'll tell you, that's some most unusual basketball. I did not expect that to happen.
Me neither, my guy, and I don't think you're alone in that one. But you know what? That's what happens if you sit on your laurels, and if you let someone attack you, they're going to attack you, and that's exactly what the Timberwolves did. Ned, you have a great day.